Hi, I'm Dan from Noble, and we're going to go over how to change out a gas tank and adjust your regulator. Now for nitro, most of the time we have it set to about 30 to 35 psi for our nitro cold brew coffee. The teas, nitro teas, also run at the same pressure. Now this one is set to around 20 psi. We're going to want to crank that up, and to do that there's a screw in the center. It's held in place by this nut. So you just want to get that nut nice and loose, just so it's moving around freely, so that the screw will move. And then turn the screw to the right. Will increase the pressure. And you can see that registering on the gauge right there. If you want to lower the pressure, you can turn the screw to the left, but you will not see that register on the gauge unless, you can see this here, there is a pressure release valve on the coupler. If you just press that, that will let the pressure out, and you will see that drop on the gauge. So again, we just want this between 30 and 35 psi. Right about there will do just fine. So you just want to make sure that this nut is nice and firm, and that screw won't move, and you're good to go. So one of the main differences between nitrogen and CO2 regulators is the adjustment valve on the front. On CO2 regulators, instead of having a screw held in place by a nut, they have this large knob. To adjust that, it should pull forwards and then turn freely left to turn the pressure down, or right to turn the pressure up. When you have the pressure set to the level you want, it'll push right in to lock back into place. One last thing to note about the regulator are these two switches down on the bottom. Or I'm sorry, there's one on each regulator. These are cutoff switches, and if that gets turned sideways, that cuts off the flow of gas to the keg, and is one of the more common issues. So if you do end up having your keg slow down or stop pouring, I'll just make sure that this switch is pointed down towards the gas line and just allows the flow of gas to the keg.